Hey, what's going on, guys? Archer Remark here, and I'm back with another Star Wars figure review. Today I have another 6-inch scale Black Series figure, and this is Luke Skywalker in his Stormtrooper disguise. Good figure, again, much like with the Han Solo, may not be essential. For me, it's very essential because I am a huge Luke Skywalker fan, so I need every Luke that they make. So I'll be very excited for when they do Farm Boy Luke, which is coming out soon. I'll give you a closer look at this figure in a moment. First, of course, let's show you the packaging. I'm going to try and go as quicker with these packaging because it's just same basic stuff. You got the profile pic, Star Wars Black Series, figure number 12, Luke Skywalker. Obviously, interesting, it doesn't say Stormtrooper disguise underneath it like it does with the Han. So that's interesting. Of course, we know it's a Stormtrooper disguise. Star Wars, Hasbro.com, Disney, all that stuff, and cool basic image of Luke Skywalker in the Stormtrooper uniform, and no bio, which is interesting. It just says figure number 12, Luke Skywalker and Star Wars. So that's interesting there. Little subtle changes that they're making to the packaging on this line. So there you go. Here's the figure again. Very basic, pretty much the same as your standard Stormtrooper. And we'll just show you here. Here's the regular Stormtrooper. Obviously, he is shorter, which goes into the running joke. Aren't you a little short for a Stormtrooper? So they probably had to do a little changing on the body type, but for the most part, the armor and everything else is the helmet and whatnot is pretty much the same as the standard Stormtrooper. He's just shorter. So we'll just show you, and we'll go in there. And nice face sculpt. I think this looks similar to the X-Wing pilot Luke one. We've had a couple of different ones at this point: Empire, Jedi Knight. So again, you look at the Stormtrooper, it's all white and black. There's no paint variations or extra paint details of it. It looks like a Stormtrooper. Here's one thing now, I like this. Now, the little piece there that on the other Stormtroopers had the hole in there left over from the Sandtrooper for the Sandtrooper pack. And here there's no hole, which I like that. The hair is nicely sculpted. It's all kind of one color. It's not much of a variation there. And I'll show you, now there's the Stormtrooper blaster. It's the same as the Han Stormtrooper, and the regular Stormtrooper figure fits nicely in the holster. The one he's holding, just to give you a better look, I just grabbed that from the Stormtrooper just so you could see both. It's the same exact gun, but you see he holds it really nicely. See, and then just to show you, so here's, for instance, there's the Han and Stormtrooper. See, there's the hole that wasn't filled in. They just left it, and they proceeded to put it in this one. So some differences in this as opposed to the regular Stormtrooper. The Han, there is basically the same figure, just different head. But there's some differences in this, again, I think because of the size of the figure. So very cool. So he's got the helmet, of course, which you'll see here, and it's nicely sculpted and painted. It's a Stormtrooper helmet. Nothing too exciting over there. One other accessory he does have, and hopefully you can see this. This is a tiny accessory. He has this, the little comlink that he uses to communicate with C-3PO. And he can fit that in his hand. Oh, you could just imagine somebody losing this. And again, nicely painted and sculpted. It's just black and white paint, nothing too exciting, but it's a neat little addition. And he does have a place right here where that could be clipped on, which is neat. I would have preferred maybe seeing the grappling hook and the rope for the swing over the chasm, but we got this. It's neat. Maybe they can include that if they ever do a New Hope Leia. with the the cinnamon bun hair. Maybe we can get that accessory put in with that figure, and then we can have like a whole thing there. So that would be cool. Here's one thing I want to go. I mentioned this in the Han Solo. See, they added this little neck piece here, so that when the helmet goes on, you don't see the neck joint as much. And here, it's stayed on. This is the way it should be. I showed you in the Han Solo, if you remember from that review. See, here's the neck piece that it doesn't go down all the way, and again, that may have been a defect, but here they got it right, and it looks much better here. So you can see if we put the helmet on there, and that looks much better. You don't see the hinge or the white paint. And while the helmet's on, we'll go over the articulation. It's pretty standard. Nice ball joint. So left and right. In fact, let's take that off. Left, right, and that hinge joint. So up and down. So great movement there. Ball joints on the shoulders, but again hindered by the shoulder armor. Bicep swivel there. Double hinge joints, or no, regular hinge joints on the elbow. Swivels on the wrists, and hinge joints on. So they do, again, nice and tight. You do have the same ball joint, upper torso movement there. And this one is a lot more fluid than we've seen with the Stormtrooper and the Han Stormtrooper disguise. So you get back and forward movement, so that's really well done. The hip joints move out a lot further than they do on the other figures. Legs can go forward a little bit, not too much, and not too much back. There's not much movement on the thigh. You do get double hinge joints on the knees and hinge joints on the ankles and the ankle pivot. So overall, this figure was a lot better done. It's like, when you do similar figures, you get, you improve over things. You look to improve things over the years with figures that are like troopers and things like this. And they really, if you can get this movement with the standard Stormtrooper, that would be great, because there were some problems there. But this is a lot better done. The joints are not as hindered. The hip joints are not as hindered by this. The upper torso moves a lot better. The knees, the ankles move a lot better. It's a lot more fluid movement with this figure as compared to the Han Stormtrooper or the regular Stormtrooper. The one thing is, of course, the shoulder armor, which they still haven't figured out a way of doing it. But not a big deal in my opinion. I'm not too bothered by it. So overall, again, a very good figure. May not be essential, like I said, with the Han, because it's not much different than the regular Stormtrooper. There's more differences with this than with the Han. But again, I said this, you could just buy him just to have an extra Stormtrooper and just add him to the ranks and use him like that. So it serves another function, I think. So overall, still a really good figure. In comparison to the Han, I think this figure was just better done compared to the Han. There's more they had to change with this figure, I guess, which is why I like it more. Plus, again, I'm a Luke fanboy. Call it what you will. It's a really great figure, and again, may not be essential for your collection, but I think I'm very glad to have it in my collection, and I think it's worth it to have. Obviously, it'll look great. If you're gonna get Han, you gotta get Luke as well, because these look great standing next to one another. And then even if you throw, let's say you throw Chewbacca in there, and then you get something with all three of them. Just look at that. How cool does that look with all three of them just standing there? So if you're gonna get the Han, definitely get the Luke. He's worth getting. This one I saw once in a Toys R Us, but just didn't have enough money on me. So, but I think this is a really good figure to pick up. He's different enough from the regular Stormtrooper, again, because of the height, that it makes a little bit of a difference, and it's just a lot better done. So, overall, get this guy if you want. I definitely recommend him. Overall, here it is. Luke Skywalker Stormtrooper Disguise 6-inch Black Series. Hope you enjoyed this review. As usual, comment, rate, subscribe. And until my next video, may the Force be with you.